The morning sun filtered through the blinds as I sipped my coffee, scrolling through emails with a sense of satisfaction. My name, Emily Carter, had finally earned some weight in the architecture world. Just last month, I closed the biggest deal of my career, a multi-million-dollar eco-resort in Oregon. All those years of late nights, overlooked credits, and fighting to prove myself had finally paid off. I was heading to the top, and I thought nothing could shake me, but I was wrong. That very afternoon, my assistant walked in, looking pale. "Emily, there's been a leak. Your client's design blueprints were just uploaded online. They're saying it's plagiarism." My mug slipped from my hand, crashing onto the floor. My heart dropped with it. "What are you talking about?" I asked, barely recognizing my own voice. "Check your inbox," she whispered. And that was the beginning of the end, or so I thought. I opened the email. My designs, the eco-resort project I had poured my soul into, were posted on a public forum dated a week earlier under someone else's name. Attached was a claim. These plans were stolen by Emily Carter. I felt the air leave my lungs. I tried to call the client, but he didn't pick up. My phone buzzed with texts. News articles were already live. The headlines were brutal. Rising star accused of design theft in a matter of hours. Everything I had worked for crumbled. Calls from other clients stopped. Meetings were canceled. A partner pulled out of a pending deal. I went from the future of modern architecture to a pariah overnight. And the worst part? I had no idea who did this to me until I saw the name that filed the claim. Samantha Brooks, my best friend, my college roommate, my maid of honor. We had built our careers side by side in the same field. We used to joke that one day we'd open a firm together. Samantha had always been competitive, but I never thought she was capable of something like this. I called her, straight to voicemail. I drove to her office. Her assistant said she was unavailable. That night, I cried harder than I had in years, not just because of the betrayal, but because deep down, I blamed myself. I had shown her everything. I had emailed her drafts, asked for feedback, trusted her implicitly. And she used it all against me. I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. Mascara. The days blurred. Legal notices started arriving. Samantha was suing me for intellectual property theft. She had built a convincing case using my own old emails and documents, but out of context. I knew she had manipulated everything, but proving that was going to be a nightmare. My own lawyer looked at me with doubt. "Emily, unless we find hard proof that she copied your work, this could end badly." I felt like I was drowning. Even my parents, though supportive, were cautious. "Maybe it's time to lay low," Mom said gently, "just until this blows over." But this wasn't just a phase to outlast. It was my whole life imploding, and the weight of it pushed me to the edge. One night, I drove to the edge of a cliff just outside the city. I wasn't planning anything reckless, not exactly. I just needed silence. A place where no headlines could reach me, where Samantha's betrayal didn't echo so loudly in my head. I sat on the hood of my car, the wind in my hair, and for the first time in years, I prayed. Not the kind of polished prayer I'd learned as a child. A raw, broken plea. "God, if you're there, I need help. I can't do this alone. Please." I don't know what I expected. But in that stillness, I felt something shift. Not outside, inside. Like a whisper in my soul, telling me I wasn't alone. And I clung to that tiny thread of hope, like it was the only thing keeping me alive. The next morning, I woke up with swollen eyes, but a strange sense of resolve. If Samantha wanted a fight, she was going to get one. I couldn't undo the damage overnight, but I could start digging. I revisited every document, every email, every shared file we'd ever exchanged. I started connecting dots, creating timelines. It was tedious, painful, but something inside me refused to give up. Days turned into weeks, and then, one afternoon, while reviewing an old Dropbox folder, I found it. A time-stamped design draft from before Samantha had submitted her claim. My name was watermarked on every page. It was the smoking gun. I forwarded it to my lawyer immediately. He called back, his voice more excited than I'd ever heard. "Emily, this changes everything. She can't explain this away. This draft proves the design was yours." The legal team moved fast. A countersuit was filed. Samantha tried to backpedal, claiming the file was faked, but forensic techs verified its authenticity. Her credibility crumbled. Within a month, the lawsuit was dropped, and she was facing charges for fraud and defamation. Reporters tried to spin it as two women clashing, but I didn't care anymore. I wasn't trying to win the headlines. I just wanted my life back. The firm I had lost offered me my position again, but I declined. I didn't want to go back to who I was before all this happened. That woman had been strong, yes, but she hadn't known how much faith she could draw on until she was forced to her knees. I opened my own firm instead, small but mine. My first client was a widow looking to build a sustainable home on the edge of town. She didn't care about the scandal. She cared that I listened. That I understood what it meant to lose everything and rebuild. Her trust reminded me why I started designing in the first place. Not for the accolades, for the people. Samantha disappeared from the industry. Last I heard, she moved to another state and changed her last name. I don't feel hatred toward her anymore, just a deep sadness. She was my best friend once. I think she lost herself trying to stay ahead, chasing recognition that was never going to make her whole. As for me, I finally feel free. My days are quieter now, filled with sketchbooks, honest clients, and long walks. But the biggest change? I never forget to pray. Not because I need something, but because I remember how close. Last Sunday, I spoke at a community center about resilience. Not just in business, but in spirit. I told them about the betrayal, the lawsuit, the prayer. I thought my voice would shake, but it didn't. A woman came up to me after, eyes filled with tears. "I'm going through something like that," she whispered. "You just gave me hope." That was the moment I knew none of this had been wasted. Not the pain, not the loss, not the fight. Every step had led me here, to a new life. One built not on ambition alone, but on faith, on grace, on truth. And that, finally, felt like real success.